Dead Channel Duo podcast episode number 6-1. How you doing, Alexander?
I've been better, Andy. How are you?
You know.
Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a really crappy it's been a really crappy week. It's been really rough.
It's Christmas.
No, so usually the holidays stress me out. By the way, how was your holiday? Is Christmas a big deal in your family or no?
Fine.
It's fine. Okay. So holidays don't stress me out that much, but they are a little stressful. You know, you got to get your house ready. I have people over. You know, my family comes over on Christmas Eve. We spend Christmas Day with Ashley's family. And it can be a little stressful getting your house clean, buying all the gifts, you know, dealing with the crowds at stores. Even though we really just, like, gifts aren't, like, a real big thing in either family. But we do, like, little gifts. So that wasn't the worst part. But I started my new job this week that I referenced in the last episode. And I know I've talked about this, I think maybe on my channel. And I think I may have kind of gone into it a little bit on the podcast last week. But, you know, I got let go from one company that will remain nameless for legal reasons at the end of September. And I got a job offer in the middle of December, and it wasn't a job that I really wanted. And it wasn't a job that pays me anywhere near what I'm used to making, but it's enough to where it'll kind of like, hey, you don't have to kill your savings. You don't have to burn through your severance package. You don't have to burn through things, you know, like your personal savings, your 401k, etc., right? Because those are all bad ideas. And then taking unemployment isn't an option for me because I was paid out severance. So I wouldn't be able to take that until presumably February, I think. I'd have to go back and do the math. Anyway, started this new job this week.
Yeah, the pizza place that you got fired first day, right?
No, dude, that's a story for another day. That's such a great story that we may even just go into that.
The redemption story. You went back.
And I became the best darn pizza waiter in the world. Yeah. No, it isn't that. It's at a retail store that everybody hates to go to. And if you can't figure it out by that, it's one of the biggest retail stores in the US, and they sell like everything. And they have me basically running half of like the warehouse, if that makes sense. And I'm responsible for that. But this week has been a real challenge. So I'm on a schedule that is 4 a.m. in the morning to 1 p.m. in the afternoon. I'm having a really hard time adjusting to that. It completely throws off my work-life balance. I don't see my wife as much as I'm used to. I work weekends now. And it's not a really safe working environment either. They don't care about safety at all. And it's a warehouse. So it's really scary. There are exposed nails all over the place. There's rusty metal all over the place. I witnessed an employee get cut, and the response of like the top management, because I'm the lower level management, and the top management was like, well, just go get a tetanus shot. Like, safety.
I just thought of it. I knew a guy that worked there.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, I used to play Xbox with him. His name was Rich. And he got like disability checks and actually sued the said company because I forgot what it was, but something fell off the top and broke both of his legs.
So my first day, they were proud to tell me that it had been 5 days since the last accident that involved an employee getting injured.
Sick.
5 days. And within the first like 4 hours of me actually doing my new job, I totally understood why it had only been 5 days. I saw stuff done that was just like crazy. When I worked at Publix as a high schooler and in college, you know, that was a warehouse job, and things were taken very seriously from a safety perspective, and like measures were put into place. This place, it's just like, they don't care. And it scares the heck out of me. And then like the pay isn't very good. The schedule stinks. They tried to get me to come in on my day off, and I said no. I thought that I was doing a bad job because they don't really know how to train people. They just expect that you figure it out. Like, they point blank told me that. Like, and I'm management, and I'm responsible for 20 people a day. Today I was responsible for 19. The previous day I was responsible for 21. So like, it's usually somewhere between 17 to 25 people. And during peak times, it could be as much as 40 that I'm responsible for. And no training whatsoever. They probably know more than I do, the people that work for me. But here's the worst part of it all, and the part that I'm really trying to wrap my head around how I'm going to be able to do this job, is almost all of them don't speak fluent English. And over half of them don't speak any English at all. And I don't speak Spanish. Not even remotely fluent. I could get through conversational stuff barely, right? So I don't have any idea how to interact with these people. They just kind of go do stuff, and I make hand motions like pick it up or hey, thumbs up, looks good. And that's my interaction with them. And I thought, like, this place is going to fire me because, like, they didn't train me. There are times I'm walking around, I'm like, I don't even know what to do next. I don't know where to go. The person that is training me he's new himself, so he's still figuring things out. And I was like, oh man, like, they're probably going to come to me and just say, like, dude, we just made a mistake hiring you. Like, we're going to have to fire you. We're going to have to let you go. And like, I was kind of like, if that happens, I'm okay with it, because like, I'm miserable at this job already, and it's only a week in, and I just don't see it getting any better. But then at the end of today, they told me that I was doing so great. And I'm like, oh no, they think I'm good. So they're not going to fire me.
You're going to be CEO of this company in no time.
They keep trying to sell me on that. Like, that there's all these opportunities and that you can move up really fast.
CEO. No time.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the top management of this store that does over $130 million of revenue a year, which, if you don't know anything about retail, that might not sound like a big number. That's a lot of money for one building to make in any retail environment, period. And like, yeah, dude.
I mean, yeah, it's a Fortune 500 company.
So, but the top management at this store, some of them have only been there 6 months. And I'm like, how?
Because they get promoted CEO. It's that simple.
Andy, it's
You're not a fan of my bit?
No, I like your bit, and I appreciate the listeners allowing me to vent. Maybe you got some entertainment out of it. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you're out there and
timestamp skips.
Sure. I'll try to remember to do that. But you know,
I mean, I'm just saying, like, there's a few that probably do that.
Sometimes, Andy, I just feel like I've taken things, not that I took them for granted, because I was like grossly underpaid at my previous job. And I found that out like yesterday, believe it or not. I had a phone. By the way, to anybody out there listening who's like, well, Alex, just find another job and then just bail. Dude, I'm trying. Like, I do phone interviews every day. The good thing about working 4 a.m. to 1 in the afternoon is I could conceivably go to a job interview in the afternoon on any given day or a day off. But the minute I find something that pays $1 more a year, like not even an hour, I'm talking about like if it pays me $1 more a year, I'm taking it, because I feel like this place might kill me. Like I'm not even joking. The safety is the thing that scares me the most. And it's also a grind, and I know it's going to put strain on my relationship with my wife, and God bless her, she supports me all the way, and I know that she won't be the cause of the strain, and it'll probably be me. I'll probably be so stressed out. I'll be a terrible person to deal with and not the best husband, and I don't like it. But I feel like I took things for granted to an extent, even if I was underpaid where I was, because I did a job interview yesterday after I got off work. I was completely exhausted. I have no idea how I made it through it. And I told the guy how much I wanted to make a year, and he laughed, and I was like, oh no, it's another one of those job interviews where they offer me something stupid. He's like, you'd probably make double. So he gave me a number, and he's like, you should have been making that where you were before. And I'm like, God. So like, I know I have the talent and the skill to do something better. It's just, this really stinks, bro.
There's pros to it, though.
What's the pro?
I feel like you can get away with a little bit of that weed there. Get high for the first time.
Okay, fun fact for you. You would think management, because I got hired in as management, you would think they would drug test you, right?
No, I don't think that.
Okay. They don't.
I feel like a lot of people that work there are stoners.
They did not drug test me. It was never brought up. They made me sign a background check consent form, but they didn't run a background check. And I know that for a fact, because I used to do hiring at my previous job, and even there, like with the stringent guy, we used to make everybody take a pee test. And if you got flagged for anything, I can just say this now.
Oh my God, he has testosterone.
if you got flagged for weed, they'd hire you anyway.
Yeah.
Anything else, they're like, no, like you're not hired.
MLB doesn't even check anymore.
Because what's the point? But yeah, they didn't even think about a drug test, and like they made me sign a waiver saying I can't show up to work drunk. But I'm just gonna be honest. Like, I feel like there's people that work, like there's a few people offhand that I'm fairly certain show up to work either stoned or a little bit lit from some alcohol or both. And again, we go back to the safety part, because these people are lifting heavy things, and they're taking things down from top shelves, and it's just, I don't know, man. It's been an experience.
You hating on PEDs?
I'm not for, and I guess we can transition away from this conversation because I feel like it's getting really depressing. But before we do, and when we talk about PEDs, I do want to say sorry to the Patreon backers. This episode's coming out really late for us.
Yeah, this is Saturday. This comes out tomorrow.
So I'm so sorry, and that's 1,000% on me. It has nothing to do with Andy. So please send your hate emails to alex@deadchannelduo.com and tell me I'm an idiot for taking this job in the first place. If you in general
dislike everything I say, email me at andy@deadchannelduo.com.
I feel like that email is more likely to come through.
Yeah, probably.
Just saying. Yeah, but PEDs, man, I'm not really against them. It's just the one thing that scares me about PEDs is when they're used recklessly. So if there's an MLB pitcher using PEDs, he's probably doing it with some kind of medical advice behind it. Whereas when I was playing high school football, I witnessed guys shooting each other up with dirty needles for steroids. That's terrible. I don't condone that. I think that's really reckless, and it can lead to some serious, sometimes irreversible harm on your body. And
you see the Joe Rogan picture? I mean, it's more HGH than steroids.
Yeah, I mean HGH is, and I did, and like my God,
he looks jacked. Like people are like it looks weird, but he's jacked.
Yeah,
out of his freaking mind.
HGH is probably a good thing in moderation, just like steroids are a good thing in moderation. But even in moderation, particularly with anabolic steroids, depending on what kind you're on, it can have some detrimental effects. I actually know somebody who's on a steroid cycle for, and they have been, and they always probably will be, for an issue with their sciatic nerve. And it really, specifically with a female, it can cause some major issues, and it has for her. But she has no other choice, and it's better than the alternative, I guess. But
well, it's a weird start to the episode. This episode is the first annual DCD Awards show. Dun dun dun.
I kind of like it.
What?
Is the little
music?
I mean, I actually liked it. It was a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Got me excited. So
speaking of more positive things and more negative things, we're also awarding worst things.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's get into that.
Starting off with best new game released in 2019. The nominees are, no, I'm kidding. Before I get into this, I have two things to say. First off, this award show is better than other award shows because there's 2 winners in each category.
All right.
Because, you pick one, I pick one. And second off, these are our opinions, so we don't care what you think. Not really, but
that's funny.
But if you disagree, I don't care. So
it's fair. Okay.
Yeah.
So best new game
released 2019.
Okay.
Alexander.
So my pick for best new game, I feel like it's close. I want to say Death Stranding came in a close second, but it's Sekiro.
The game I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, and that probably sounds like a boring pick because it won the Video Game Award show Game of the Year, but yeah. I really feel like it was a tremendous treatment of a new IP, and it spoke to me because it was the first time in a while where I think somebody came out with a game that was $60. It's a new IP, and it's a complete game, single player experience only. Doesn't rely on multiplayer for replay value. Has old school stuff like New Game Plus. I just think it's the best this year. Andy, what was your choice?
I have a honorable mention because I'm like that always every time we do these things because I'm a prick. My honorable mention is Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening because I can't award it because it's a remake, but that game's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
The graphic, it's definitely the most beautiful game that was released this year. But my game of the year, which I feel like a lot of people are going to be a fan of, is Apex Legends.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
It's definitely a good one.
Really? It's because I haven't played much things this year. Apex is a good game, but it's really because I haven't played really anything this year. I've played 7 games I've released in this year.
I mean, here's the thing. I'm kind of finding myself in the
8
same
games,
boat.
Sorry. I played a new game called Cuisine Royale. Great.
Cuisine Royale. I've never even heard of this.
It's a new battle royale. It's completely broken, but yeah, bro, it's sick.
Well, and there you go. But Apex Legends is that's a good one. I feel like that's a really good one.
Solid game.
Yeah.
Now going to the next category, in which I put this here just for Alex. Best ongoing game that didn't come out in 2019, but had an add-on / DLC in 2019.
Again, I feel like it's a boring one. because everybody probably knows what I'm going to pick, but I'm going to say World of Warcraft for the
Yeah, that's the reason I put it
Rise of
there.
Ashara, which was a free add-on. It was just the first really big giant add-on for the most recent update, Battle for Azeroth. So that would be my pick. However, if I'm being honest and I take my personal bias out of it, I'm actually going to say Final Fantasy XIV. I don't play this game, but I watch people play it quite a bit. I have two friends in particular that I've watched stream this game, and it's the most recent expansion was just outstanding, and the fact that it lost the video game award or the Game Awards ongoing category to Fortnite kind of broke my heart a little bit.
No, bro, Fortnite.
I kind of want to know what your choice for this category would be, because I don't know that you really play any ongoing games.
It's Fortnite. No, I'm kidding.
It's Fortnite. You used to play Fortnite.
I was gonna meme it and say Fortnite. It's Halo Master Chief Collection.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. I didn't even think of that one.
They added Halo Reach expansion, and Halo Reach is my favorite Halo game. It's a great time.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid answer. So, the next category, a little negative, but nevertheless,
You have a little bit of negative to appreciate the positives.
Yeah. So, I feel like I can predict what Andy's next. Yeah, I feel like I know what this one is, and I'm not gonna say what
What's
I think
the category?
I think it's a sports game, but
I'm not gonna on my screen, Alexander. By the way, if you can see me,
I can see you, and hopefully I come
Great
back
for
shortly.
listeners for me saying that.
Well, I mean, the capture has me still going, so
You're back.
Okay, I'm back. So, I'm not going to say what game I think it is, but I think it's the same developer as my choice for worst game of the year. And
I think you got it.
Yeah.
I think you got it. You nailed it.
My choice is WWE 2K20.
Yep.
And I want to say that no, I have not played this game, but I have watched a ton of footage of people playing it. And it breaks my heart that WWE has, since 2K took over, since THQ left,
Yeah.
the game has gotten worse every single year in terms of gameplay and glitches. Really, the glitches
Even
more
the
than
graphics
anything.
are worse. Have you seen the screenshot of John Cena from WWE 15 and WWE 2K20?
You know what really stinks about it is the one thing 2K came in and did right was expand the roster to like this unbelievable degree. And they put in so many of the classic wrestlers. It was just amazing,
Yeah.
But that's really the only thing I can say about it. And 2K20 was a glitchy mess of a game, and 2K should be ashamed of themselves. And if I'm WWE, I would be wondering what other options they might have. Andy, what's your choice for worst game in 2019?
Well, since you guessed it, from the great company Take-Two Interactive, NBA 2K20, it is complete dog trash.
When your game
Dog trash.
is when your game is trending on Twitter because of how poorly it came out.
WWE also trended the same hashtag.
Yeah, it's just to trend for that reason is a sign that things are really, really messed up.
It's a bad game.
It stinks because as someone who used to play the NBA 2K games and used to buy it every single year, it really stinks to see a franchise just completely fall off the rails like that one has. But
Yeah. I thought you were going to guess that I was going to say Madden, because that's a
no,
meme that
see, that's
Madden's
like a meme. But, Madden this year, and I know some people probably expected me to say that, but I don't think Madden's a terrible game. I think that there's some gross mismanagement in terms of quality control with Madden this year. There were some things that were trending on Twitter, at least for me. I saw it all over my newsfeed, where for a weekend, people just couldn't play Madden at all if it required anything online, which the majority of the game does. So, but I'm not going to say it's the worst game of 2019. So, moving on. This one is a hard one for me, Andy. So I'll let you lead off. Most anticipated game of 2020.
Mine, I have a bunch of them. A bunch of honorable mentions. I'm going to go, my real answer, I'm not going to say because it isn't confirmed to come out in 2020. If that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like Zelda, I'm not going to give it to it because, My most anticipated game is Cyberpunk 2077, which is the most boring answer because everyone's super hyped for it.
It's a good answer. It's definitely pretty high on my list.
And then my honorable mentions, which I should have said before I released I messed that one up. Probably my most anticipated for 2021, I guess, is Psychonauts 2.
Ooh, yeah, I totally forgot about that one, but that's another one that would be very high on my list.
Animal Crossing New Horizons. And SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated.
I can't believe they're making that, but they are. It's real. I
played the first game as a kid. I can't wait. I told you about that YouTube channel that has been speedrunning it for the past 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. It's an amazing amount of dedication to a game that's kind of on the fringe. Yeah, I have a lot of...
It's the greatest game ever made, Alex.
So I have a lot of honorable mentions here. Psychonauts 2 would definitely be one of them because Psychonauts 1 is one of my favorite games of all time. Go ahead.
Beyond Good and Evil 2 as well.
That's another really good one that I think may not be on most people's radar, but it really should be. And if you can, go back and play the original because it's a really outstanding game.
It's on the Xbox One through Game Pass or backwards compatibility.
Yeah. There's so many good ones. Animal Crossing you mentioned. Doom Eternal is one that I'm really looking forward to. But I would be... and Diablo 4 if it comes out in 2020, but I don't think it will. But the one game that I just can't wait for, because it's going to be an Xbox Scarlet launch title, Halo Infinite. And I'm assuming you'll also be able to play it on PC, which is really cool. It'll probably be an Xbox Live Play Anywhere title, which again is another really cool feature. I've talked about that endlessly on this podcast. So for me, it's Halo Infinite. But
it's a good pick.
Yeah, lots of good... God, there's just so much to look forward to in 2020. I feel like this was a great E3 if you're a gamer. Anyway, moving on to movies. I just skipped ahead a couple things here, and it says Best Film Club Selection, Absence of Malice.
No. That was the time frame. That's the film clubs we've done in 2019.
Oh, I thought you put it in there as a joke.
I get what you mean. I was saying...
Because then you immediately put after that, Every Christmas Has a Story.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow.
Those are the selections. That's the period. It just happened that those movies both are complete dog bleep.
Yeah, it's I don't know. We'll get back to Every Christmas Has a Story later on. But so anyway, next category is Best Movie of 2019. I don't think we're gonna agree on this one, but I'm sure that
probably not.
Yeah. I'm sure that we'd probably have a little bit of overlap in terms of movies that we would put in our top 5. Mine was Joker. And the reason I picked that one is I felt like it was the most compelling film I watched that came out this year. Told a great story. Thought a little bit outside of the box. Shot really well. It obviously was a huge financial success. And I think it's a performance that everybody's always going to remember. Just like other iconic performances in movies using licensed characters. Like, you know, obviously you think like Heath Ledger's Joker, right? Nobody's ever going to forget that. I feel the same way about Joker 2019. It was a great performance, great direction. Can't wait to watch it again. Andy, what was your pick for best movie of 2019?
Well, if you want to see my full list of every single movie I've seen that came out this year ranked, it's on my Letterboxd at letterboxd.com/Andy Halsey. Shameless plug. This is one actually really hard for me because I don't know if I don't know if I love, like, I'm like, oh my god, this movie's incredible for anything this year.
Yeah.
But I've kind of like, there's a couple that I'm kind of like, I haven't rewatched it. I feel like when I rewatch it, I'll be like, yeah, this is great. And so my honorable mentions are Marriage Story, which is a controversial pick apparently at Christmas because everyone's crapping on me because I have it rated at 9 out of 10 on Letterboxd, which is my highest rated movie of this year.
Mm-hmm.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, another honorable mention. Midsummer, The Irishman. But my pick for best movie of the year, which is going to be a future film club selection. Fun fact. Not this week because it's not out yet on digital. It is The Lighthouse from 2019. We talked about this when the trailer came out.
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna have to watch that one.
It'll be a film club pick. I'm just letting you know. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, you know, the problem is I hate seeing movies in theaters. I just hate it. You got to deal with people talking.
This one, I don't know. I went to a packed theater. It was an indie theater. It was packed, but no one said a word. I don't know. The sound of this movie, like watching in theater is way better. But like, dude, the sound of this movie is just sick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. The performances by both Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson are incredible. And I feel like, I don't know, it's going to be regarded as one of the greatest films ever made.
Yeah, I just wish stuff like that was more on people's radar instead of what I'm going to pick controversially as my worst movie of 2019.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, you haven't seen much, so.
Yeah, I see stuff when it hits home release. And so often, especially lately, you can catch something, you know, on sale sometimes as little as a month, you know, before or a month after release. It's pretty crazy. So anyway, moving on to the next category here. Worst movie of 2019. Andy, I'll let you lead off.
We have The Man Without Gravity, a Netflix original movie from India, I think. Maybe. I don't remember. It's about a guy that was born that gravity doesn't apply to him. And boy, is it just bad.
So I'm gonna kind of do something a little bit, again, probably not gonna be people's favorite pick here, but I'm gonna say this was the worst movie of 2019 because I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy the theater experience, seeing it with the idiots that were in the theater with me. I think it's massively overrated. And I am completely sick of hearing about this genre of movies, which I realize people are going to go, well, you said Joker was your favorite of 2019. That's Avengers Endgame. It was really long. It was unnecessarily long. There's a billion plot holes. I could sit down and go through them all, but I'm not going to bore anyone with it. Just watch the movie and think critically. Yeah. And it was a bunch of pandering to SJWs throughout the film, which I thought was stupid. And it sparked an endless amount of debates about superhero movies that I am so... If you're one of those people that argues those types of movies all the time, you're probably muted on Twitter unless we're really, really good friends or something, because I'm so sick of the debate over films that I think are not worthy of debate. They're not. It's just superhero movies. They're popcorn films. Honorable mention goes to, I don't know if it came out this year, The Meg.
That's last year. That's my worst pick from last year. That movie.
Okay, well then never mind.
Did you actually watch it? Are you memeing?
Portions.
Oh,
really didn't.
I forgot to do
like
my
it.
bit. I forgot the line. I have a line in my notes that says, "JK Endgame is the greatest movie of all time. Shawshank sucks."
Yeah.
I forgot to say also. Technically honorable mentions. I didn't see Parasite, Jojo Rabbit Waves, or Portrait of a Lady on Fire. Those movies that I'm extremely excited to go see. I just haven't seen them yet. They could potentially dethrone what I've previously said.
You know, lately I've been watching a lot of older stuff, partially because of Film Club, and I know what I've been picking. I've been going really far back, the 2001: A Space Odyssey and Apocalypse Now, and films that are very old. But I'm not saying anything against the current stuff. I don't know. I'm so like it. I guess I have this irrational. I don't want to say hatred, because that's too strong of a word, but I have this irrational dislike for this weird sensation where multiple random people I've talked to, like one was a friend of a friend, another was someone my wife was interacting with on Twitter, and they say Avengers Endgame is their favorite movie of all time and it's the best movie of all time, and I think it's complete. Then you must not watch many movies. I don't know, so that's why I picked it. Again, I realize it's not going to be everybody's
Please watch
favorite.
any of the things I listed if you think Endgame is your favorite.
Yeah. Please. Just watch some other stuff. So, moving on to... I think this is going to be a real fun one. I honestly can't... I'm trying to think what Andy would pick here. Best Film Club selection for DCD Film Club. Andy? What's your choice?
I guess I'll go with... I don't know. I was about to change it. 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yeah, this is a really hard one for me because there's just so many good ones that...
Honorable mentions... Sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead, please.
My best pick... I did a best pick for everybody. Fans and us. 2001 won it. I kind of wanted to go with the other one, but apparently I only care about things that I pick, so I had to pick something else. My best pick from this year is Under the Skin, because I feel like the conversation was great. It was something we both haven't seen. Best fan pick was Goodfellas from Spoon Sandwich. So yeah, that was my picks.
Yeah, I'm gonna take some liberties here with this one. I've said it before. 2001: A Space Odyssey it's my second favorite movie of all time. Midnight Cowboy is definitely my first, but I know 2001: A Space Odyssey is a better film, and that's saying a lot because Midnight Cowboy it's great in my opinion. but 2001, I mean, absolutely takes it. Some ones that I really enjoyed that weren't even on my radar, that were picks by Andy, would be Fruitvale Station. That one, I got really emotional, and it really threw me off, man, in a good way, So that was a really good one. And then Under the Skin, as Andy mentioned, was another one that I had no idea, wasn't on my radar at all, and I thought it was just so cool. And then Hereditary, I think the more I thought about Hereditary, the more I think it's probably the best modern horror. It's the best modern horror movie, really, period, that I've seen probably in the last 10 years, I would say. And that's saying a lot, because there's some really good ones out there, but I thought Hereditary was just outstanding, and I knew nothing about it. And then, as far as fan picks, if I had to pick one that kind of blew me away in a good way, it would be The Fountain. I know Andy doesn't agree with me on The Fountain.
No, you're good, man.
But I think it's a really cool concept for a movie. I get why it wasn't successful financially, but I thought it was a really good one. And there's one other fan pick in here that I can't think of at the moment that was just really outstanding. So now we get to go on to one that'll be a real fun topic.
You've been following the trend, yeah.
Worst DCD Film Club selection.
Mine is Midnight Cowboy. I'm kidding.
No.
I'm joking. I'm completely joking. To be legit, Absence of Malice. That was so boring.
God, I'm looking through the list right now, and I'm not gonna count stupid stuff that I picked. So, for example, Thanksgiving. I realize Thanksgiving is the worst thing that we've ever covered in DCD Film Club, but I literally picked it just so that we could cover it, because it was Thanksgiving.
I think I give it a 1, you give it a 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the lowest rated score out of all of us.
Yeah, it's definitely down there. The one that I'm going to pick, and, don't take it personally, Dumbest Sphinx, is The Lobster. It didn't resonate with me. I thought it did some cool things, but it didn't do anything for me, and I just don't think it was very good at all. But
I think it's fun that both of your picks for best and worst we both disagree on. Just fun fact. That's
kind of what Film Club is, though. Yeah. I think that's what makes it so cool, is I've noticed what happens is me and you usually don't agree, and generally the listeners agree with you more than they agree with me.
Sometimes they don't. Dude, Fear and Loathing, apparently I'm the only dude that liked it.
That's kind of a weird one, though, because, even the director said, I did want to make something that people didn't like. So, in a way, it was successful on that front. But, that's DCD Film Club. It's about film discussion. And, I'll be honest, I thought you were going to pick Another Earth. I thought that was going to be... Because I know you were, really tough on that movie. And
My worst pick for you...
I loved it.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, if I have to pick worst that you picked,
it's probably gonna be Fear and Loathing, right?
No, I'm trying to think. There was one other one that I really, really didn't like. Just because it got under my skin.
I know what you're talking about. It's also what I think is my worst.
Because it was I don't do good with excessive gore. It makes me very uncomfortable. I don't know how to describe it other than to say that. So it would be The Eyes of My Mother.
Yeah, I think that's my worst one too.
To be fair, though, it was success. It's supposed to make you uncomfortable, so it's successful. It's just
It's a horror movie.
I will never go back and watch that. I can't. It's too weird. It's too weird. Too weird. It was good, but it's just weird. So, next topic here is most anticipated movie of 2020. Everybody knows what mine is. So
I just blanked. I was like, "What?"
Yeah. So I'll just make it really easy for you guys. It's Sonic the Hedgehog. I can't wait to see it. I hope it's good.
Supersonic.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to. I was gonna ask you. Did you own a Sega CD?
No, I couldn't. My parents couldn't afford one.
Yeah, I heard it was garbage.
It had like a couple cool games. So like those stupid full motion video games were awful. Things like Sewer Shark.
Yeah.
And Night Trap. Even though Night Trap has that jam as the opening theme.
Night Trap's on the Xbox One.
It is. They remastered it, and they even did a physical release, I think, through Limited Run Games. But, and I've heard that it's actually kind of a novelty, but it's better. But yeah, Sega CD had some cool stuff, like Sonic CD was really good. So, just a really good Sonic game with that. It had great music.
So my most anticipated movie 2020, honorable mentions, because I said previously I'm like that. Mank by David Fincher, Tenet by Christopher Nolan, Last Night in Soho by Edgar Wright, The French Dispatch by Wes Anderson. But my most anticipated movie of 2020 is I'm Thinking of Ending Things by Charlie Kaufman, the guy that directed Synecdoche, New York.
That could be pretty good. I mean, like, that does sound pretty promising, and anything David Fincher is definitely something that I think would be good, because I can't think of anything that he's done that I didn't like. I'm sure somebody would be like, he did this really garbage movie, but yeah.
I'm Thinking of Ending Things is also straight to Netflix. Fun fact.
Oh, okay. That's cool. So moving on here to our next topic, we have best new TV series.
Yeah, best, as in the first season came out this year.
So, God, there's quite a bit of competition here.
/ miniseries, by the way. Technically.
I'm going to go with The Mandalorian. I think it's the best. It's the best thing that's come out on a streaming service. So I would pick that one. I can't really think of any other.
I don't know. I finished the first 3 episodes, and then we had that discussion about it. But I never had a desire to go back. I feel like it was perfect in those 3 episodes. Like, it completely wrapped everything I was interested in.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I personally, I'm still enjoying it. The other one, I feel like I'm kind of cheating in saying this one, but AEW Dynamite.
I would count it. It's new.
It's a new series. I like the brand of wrestling on there a little bit better. I think in terms of their production quality, it's been impressive what they've been able to put together so far. And I kind of want to see what they're able to do in the future. But that, I might even put that one over Mandalorian. But Mandalorian's really, really good. So what's your best new TV series, Andy?
The one of 2 TV shows we had a discussion on the podcast. Earlier this year. Chernobyl.
Ooh, I wish I had picked that one, because that was my favorite by far. Oh my goodness.
Really good.
Oh my God, Chernobyl. I want to buy it on Blu-ray, but it's like $30.
Yeah.
And like I want to go back and rewatch it. It was so beautifully done.
Honorable mention is Sex Education.
Yeah.
It's a good one. I enjoyed it. Season 2 comes out in January.
So, next one should be a pretty interesting one. Best ongoing TV series. Show that didn't start in 2019, but had a season in 2019. Andy, what's your pick there?
Since we did it for games, I thought we had to do it for TV, even though I don't watch TV, so...
Mm-hmm.
Mine's not, I guess, not a fun pick, but mine's Brockmire. It's a sitcom. Great sitcom. Just hilarious. That's the reason I picked it. It's great. I love it.
So that's not a bad pick at all. Mine, I'm really enjoying Rick and Morty, and I know a lot of people probably think that would be my pick. And honorable mention goes to that and Bob's Burgers. I feel like Bob's Burgers just keeps getting better and better. But again, I'm going to pick something that's only on a streaming service. And I just love the heck out of the show. Jack Ryan, season 2. It's so good. The second season was even better than the first, which is saying a lot because that first season's amazing. But I feel like Jack Ryan and another show that I almost picked as new TV series, The Boys. Those two really, in my mind, justified my Amazon Prime streaming subscription.
Yeah, they got
thing.
a lot of other stuff too.
They do. It's a really great streaming service, but like when I tell you I got Amazon Prime initially just for the free 2-day shipping, because my wife does there's a lot of stuff that we buy on Amazon that we can't buy locally. Like me and my wife are really adamant about like supporting local business, but sometimes Amazon is the only place that has a certain item, and we buy quite a bit of stuff on there. And sometimes local businesses won't price match Amazon. And right now, especially because of what I was talking about earlier in the podcast, you know, every dollar counts.
I hate I'm a Prime user too.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I have to save money. I wish I could, you know, like I pay a premium to buy my comic books at a local comic book shop when I could easily just get them through Amazon and probably save a couple bucks. But I don't do that.
Comics? Could you stream comics?
Yeah, you can. You could do the like the digital only, but I like to have the physical media on that. I'm kind of weird.
Interesting.
It is very interesting because we were talking about physical media and like how I'm starting to slowly come around when it comes to Blu-rays and games because I'm tired of having to store the stuff.
Yeah.
But the comics, I enjoy the art work on them.
Hey, I enjoy the artwork on Blu-rays.
I do too. You know, I still stand by this. If I could get the physical version for the same price, I do. Yeah. But so many times I will go on Vudu or Movies Anywhere and they're like, oh, hey, here's this movie that came out a year ago and you can get a 4K version for $4.99. There's no way I'm getting it physical for $4.99. So, okay, I'll just take that. So, anyway.
You know what's $4.99? I gladly own Every Christmas Has a Story.
I can't believe you bought it.
The pirate ship wasn't working, so I had to freaking buy it.
Yeah,
you can't rent it.
I'm blown away that you actually own that
I'm
film.
I'm gonna cherish that, and every year, me and Aunt Becky gonna chill out.
Well,
yeah.
Let's go ahead and move into next topic here. Worst TV series of 2019. Ongoing or new.
Yeah.
Andy, what's your pick?
Mine is... You're probably not going to be surprised after I say it.
See, I was gonna say I almost feel like you're gonna pick 13 Reasons Why.
Because I am. That's why.
Okay.
It's just trash. Even though I watched every single episode that ever came out, it's a bad show. Writing is awful. That's bad. Like the acting's bad, the writing's bad. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I'll mention the Scream TV show, the new season.
Okay.
Same reasons. Writing's awful. Acting's awful.
Huh. Well, I kind of had a hard time with this one, just because I can't think of things. A lot of times I can't think of things that I really dislike, like something that kind of like ticked me off. But my pick here is, God, what the hell was it? I was just thinking about it. It's a show that I watch another show on CBS, and I forget what show it is, but it comes on after the show, and I left the DVR running, and I watched it, and I said to myself, this is the dumbest effing show ever. I can't believe it's a thing. Title. Yeah. Carol's Second Act on CBS. I can't stand it. I think it's awful. It's not funny. It's not witty. It has Patricia Heaton, I think is her name. I'd have to look her up.
Ashley Tisdale, Disney Channel classic. She
was in the main star. She was in Everybody Loves Raymond, and she's done a lot of other great things, and she is funny, but that show is not.
She was in Beethoven.
Oh my God, she was. I totally forgot about that. Okay, well, so that's my pick, but that being said, I watched 15 minutes of it or so, and I was like, this is awful. I got you.
And I'll mention is Daybreak. Also, same. Watch 15 minutes. Like, this show's god awful, and stopped watching.
Yeah. Most anticipated TV of 2020, new or ongoing.
Yeah. So like Rick and Morty season 4, hypothetically.
Yeah. What's your pick, Andy?
Uzumaki. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Okay.
It's based off a manga.
Okay.
It's on Toonami.
Okay.
I don't know what anything it's about, but it looks crazy. It's like this horror manga that it looks insane. The visuals, I know nothing about it.
I did catch that one, and it really did look appealing to me. I think that's going to be one that I end up watching at some point in time. My pick for most anticipated TV of 2020 is, I'm hoping it comes out, would be Jack Ryan season 3. I know they're working on it, and I think it'll come out late 2020, but it may not. It may come out a little bit later than that. So if I have to pick something that I know is coming out in 2020, it's actually going to be The Boys season 2. They really left me on a cliffhanger at the end of season 1.
Me too, buddy.
Yeah, and I want to see more about how that's going to work itself out. So, and then also, honorable mention goes to Rick and Morty season 4, because that's,
if it comes out.
Well, the next half of the season's going to be 2020.
My bad.
Yeah, so anyway.
Honorable mentions is Hunters. It's on Amazon.
Yeah.
Sex Education season 2 and The Outsider, new HBO show. I think all those relatively come out soon.
Yeah. So that does it for the DCD Awards. Hope you liked it. I actually had a lot of fun going through it. So
if you enjoyed it, we're having another award show next week.
Yeah.
NFL award show.
NFL award show. Yeah, I can't wait. I actually can't wait for that one too, because I think we're gonna have some heated discussion over a few things. So Moving on to DCD Film Club. This week, we did something a little bit different. We decided to do, I guess you could call it a little bit of a Christmas special. And we got with Spoon Sandwich, who is a Patreon backer, and we want to thank him for that. But he is a connoisseur of sorts when it comes to Hallmark movies in general. But Andy went to him and said, we want to do a Hallmark Christmas movie. And
I did that.
I can't wait to talk about it. And the suggestion that was given us was Every Christmas Has a Story, starring Lori Loughlin and a guy that he looks really familiar, and I know I've seen him in other stuff.
He's in nothing.
Oh, okay. Well, then never mind. He probably just reminds me of somebody else who is relevant.
He's generic white guy number one.
Yeah.
His name's Colin Ferguson.
I'm trying to remember who Colin Ferguson. You know who he reminds me of just visually when he was younger? He reminds me of a taller version of Greg Kinnear. Just saying. Anyway, love Greg Kinnear, by the way. He's been in a lot of great stuff. But Every Christmas Has a Story. Has a runtime of 1 hour and 22 minutes, I think. And I appreciated that. That was kind of nice and refreshing.
I wish it was longer.
Yeah. It's definitely my first time watching it. I'll just lead off with my thoughts on the film. So first off, I'm surprised that they were able to get an hour and 22 minutes out of the premise of this movie.
Yeah.
I feel like they stretched it as thin as you could possibly stretch the concept. It has an unbelievable premise, like an unbelievably unrealistic premise to begin with, right? So, like, when she gets caught on the air saying she doesn't like Christmas and she incidentally pushes the guy into the Christmas tree and all that, I'm like, there is no way this would have accidentally gone out live for this long. And there's also always a guy on the button, if that makes sense.
And also, no one's going to care that much that someone says they hate Christmas and bumps into someone.
No, like the Grinch is over like Rover, so why is everybody hating on Lori Loughlin for not liking Christmas? I don't know. And then the idea, and what I just love about Hallmark movies, because I have watched a few.
That's my first time. And unfortunately.
They're unintentionally funny a lot of the time. But, like, what I love is the unbelievable premises sometimes. You know, like, it's so 90s rom-com to 11 and rip the knob off after you turn it up to 11. Because, like, she's co-workers with her old college boyfriend. Yeah. And they have this great working relationship despite all that history. That, to me, that seems very hard to believe. And, you know, conveniently, they're both single, even though they're low-level celebrities out in LA. And I thought that the premise of, like, you said this thing on TV, everybody's mad. Still can't believe that part. Yeah. So we're going to send you to the middle of nowhere to
Hollyvale, North Dakota.
Yeah, to cover.
I don't know if that's a real
Christmas.
place, but it's the most fake name I've ever heard. Oh, we live in Hollywood, Hollyvale. That's the name of it.
Yeah, that was also sort of unbelievable. I thought it was funny that they would call themselves the best little Christmas town ever.
The biggest little town, something like that.
Yeah, I thought it was crazy that they like would call themselves that, but not have the Christmas tree up in the town square, and then she has to like.
I mean, they had to have the
she
whole,
has to be a detective, and like,
Yeah.
and then there's all the little tropes, like all the 90s comedy romance tropes, like they're at the airport and she slips on the ice and she falls on top of them and they make eye contact and maybe they'll kiss, and he finds a way to give his own little Christmas miracle to her to show her that he really loves her,
Yeah,
deep
bro.
down. And oh God, it was just it's so sappy. But here's the thing. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever watched. I wouldn't call it great. I wouldn't call it good. I would just say it's like mediocre made for TV film. Production values were not so great. You could tell they shot it looks like they shot this in maybe 2 days. The wardrobe never really changes. The sets are very simplistic. The way I guarantee you a lot of the shots were done on like the first take. I can't imagine they spent more than a few days actually filming this. But it's a Hallmark Christmas movie, and I think it's successful as that.
But Alex, this movie makes a bunch of money, so it doesn't matter what I think.
I mean, do you think they really make money on these?
It's a massive industry.
Really? I
don't know the
figured
exact
that.
number, but they make a ton of money.
So
these Christmas movies.
the way I view these movies, or I could be wrong on this, and please let me know. Jared would probably know. I don't think that they sell many copies of it. Like Andy bought one. Me personally, yar.
They typically bring in $390 million in ad revenue, and another $146 million in something else. Mark, I don't know.
So that's what I thought this was. So my thought with Hallmark movies is that they're made specifically for TV. They're shot very quickly. The actors and actresses are not compensated at a really high level. I mean, they're compensated, and they're probably compensated well, but they're, and if you don't believe that they're shot really quickly, just look at how many, especially the female leads specifically, how many movies they do a year, and you're like, there's no way it takes them that long to shoot it, because they're in like 8 of them a year.
They do a fantasy Hallmark where you get to pick, I think, the top 3 movies you think are going to be watched the most throughout the season. And whoever gets first place gets $25,000.
That's kind of tight. I like that they make it a game. So like, I just thought that it was kind of like pro wrestling, right? You can put on a pro wrestling TV show pretty affordably if you do it right. And it's hard to produce it because it's live TV, but it brings crazy ad revenue for the commercials. And it's a money game. Basically, you make all your money on ads. You sell ad time, and the network makes money that way. And I thought that's kind of what Hallmark was doing here, and I guess it is. So, I mean, I think it was successful, though. But anyway, Andy, what did you think about Every Christmas Has a Story?
I have a bunch of notes, surprisingly.
Okay.
First note. They don't act like humans. I don't know what they are, but they're definitely not human.
They don't.
Something I've talked to, no one cares if someone doesn't like Christmas. When you mentioned this whenever they were at the airport, they fall down, about to kiss. It's the small things. The like fog that comes out of your mouth when it's cold isn't there.
Yeah.
It's the small things. Just add that. I get this is shot in studio in LA, but like, the small things that count, but they don't really care, so it makes money. The local actors are the worst actors I've ever seen. This town is full of aliens that love Christmas. Mia, the hotel worker, isn't a real person. There's no way.
Can't be.
Data from Star Trek acts more human than her.
Even, like, I don't know if you noticed this, the dialogue between Ferguson and Laughlin at the beginning of the movie, they're like very back and forth. Like it almost it reminded me of Gilmore Girls, where like the two female leads in Gilmore Girls, they'd be like, and they like go back. So, and it felt so rehearsed and like unnatural. So like I totally get that they don't act like humans thing. And then that hotel girl that runs the hotel, so, like there's no way. There's no way
the
that
mayor
a real person,
is also awful.
He's like the friendliest version of Shady ever. It's so weird.
Script trash. Cinematography bland. Music. There's not a single second in this movie that there's no music playing. Just give me a second.
Yeah. And it's like
why
all
is
that
that music
generic
playing the entire time?
It's like, and mostly it's like that really generic, like holiday. Yeah.
There's also points in the movie where the sound mixing is awful, where the music is louder than the people talking.
That was one thing that really stood out to me too.
Like, just chill out.
I'm real big on sound mixing.
Repeating jokes. They said Kate Scrooge, I think, like 16 times. Yeah. It was so hilarious the first time.
I just don't think that I don't know, just kind of reminds me of, for a while there, all the Disney Channel TV shows had a very specific and similar brand of humor.
Formula.
Yeah, and a formula. And it was because it was the same. It was like a 3-person writing team that owned a production company, and they did them all. They did like Hannah Montana and Sweet Life and Sweet Life of Zack and Cody and all that.
I think Dave Snyder, he like directed most of them.
Yeah, and it all kind of came out very samey, but yeah, I don't know. I did watch this and get some chuckles. Mainly because
Dan Schneider.
I was like, multiple points in this movie, I'm like, Andy's gonna hate this.
So I'm not done with the notes, by the way.
Please keep going.
Doug, the person behind the camera, that he was introduced as a local and as the film crew. They are mind blown that people know him, and then whenever he tells them where the tree is supposed to be. Mm-hmm. They are like, how do you know that? There's no way you would know that, even though you live here your entire life.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
And it didn't add anything. That's the weird part about it. Why even put it in?
Tell me one thing this movie added to anything. There's no exposition. There's no foreshadowing. Things just happen.
Dude, I feel like there's a cool intention behind it, but like some of it felt unbelievably rushed. Like, for example, the reunion, her reunion with her father. We never really know what happened between them, and he just
left
like
on Christmas Day. Why do I know that? He left on Christmas Day, starting a family. But
what were the, like, why? What was the motivation behind it? Was there something going on? Like,
it doesn't matter, Alex.
It's never really fleshed out. And then
exposition doesn't care.
He shows up, pulls the Santa beard down, and he's like, "I'd like a second chance." And she goes, "I'd like that." And that's the end of it. Like, that's it. It's good. Everything's good now.
Like, my best example is whenever you find out that generic white guy number 1 and Aunt Becky were dating in college. They're just having normal conversations like as coworkers, and then randomly they're like, "But we dated in college," or whatever.
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
In what world would her parents be able to mail her something in Ass Crack, North Dakota? How would they know she's there and mailed her something?
Well, presumably, Andy was on national TV because they said that this was a national TV show.
But it was before the first airing.
It's true.
Gingerbread guy sexually harassed her and no one cared.
You know, I thought that was weird too. And yeah, he did.
Sexually harassed her on live television.
In today's Me Too world, couldn't believe that happened.
And the last line, I am so glad I bought this movie. Oh my god. Yeah, it's dog. It's dog bleep.
Well,
Sorry for all the bleeps. I've been.
Nah, it's fine. I just put down a timestamp to remind myself, hey.
That's bad. It's 2 out of 10. Bad movie.
Yeah, I would give it I'd give it a 3 out of 10. I feel like it's not terrible, and Lori Loughlin, I think, does as best she can, and Colin Ferguson does too.
Only reason it's not 1 is because I think I've said this previous. My 1s are reserved for movies I absolutely hate.
It's not memorable.
Come on.
I think
Go over there.
I think if I were to watch 10 Hallmark Christmas movies, especially if I watched a few with Lori Loughlin, this one would just get kind of lost in the shuffle, as would the rest of them. I don't think there's really any permanence or lasting value to it. So, but if you want to get a couple chuckles about a movie that's kind of unbelievable, and you're in a Christmas movie spirit, just maybe check it out. I don't know. I would.
It's the only Christmas movie I watched this season, so I mean.
Yeah. I watched Die Hard. Anyway. So, this week, it was supposed to be...
No, it was a fan pick. It's supposed to be my pick that we flipped to a fan pick so the week after someone could pick a movie, but they never got back to me. So to go back to the normal rotation, this week is supposed to be mine. Last week was Jared's pick anyway, so it was a fan pick.
Mm-hmm.
If you get mad, email me, Andy@jtonio.com.
like stuck your tongue out there.
Yeah, it was an accident.
No, it was just sad.
I immediately regretted it. I once again, by the way, I have 3 picks. I'm gonna tell you about them because once again, I don't know what to pick. So 3 picks. First one, a romantic movie that's way better than this garbage. 2, a movie that kind of, if you, how do I say this? Like what's that? You know the game like 7 Steps to Jesus or 7 Steps to Adolf or whatever?
Yeah.
Or Hitler. Like it's kind of loosely connected to a tradition I do every New Year's, kind of.
Okay.
So it's not like a yearly tradition, but it's connected to what I do every New Year.
Okay.
And then last one, just generally a beloved movie that everyone loves. That is, I think, 12 on Letterboxd top 50 all time.
You know what? I'll take the romantic movie. Let's go with that.
All right. Well, it's Harold and Maude from... Should prepare this. Harold and Maude from 1971. It is on Amazon Prime, I believe. It's not on Amazon Prime. I failed to produce. It's on YouTube Prime, Google Play, iTunes, Vudu, $2.99, and I think it's on some streaming service, but I'm goofing up. It's on Prime apparently, according to my phone.
Okay.
But according to my computer, it's not.
Well,
I don't know.
We'll find out, but looking forward to it. Cool. So we're covering that next week in DC Film Club. So yeah. I know we're running a little late on time.
Hold on.
Okay.
Fun fact, the one that was connected to the thing, just to let you know, because I probably won't pick it in the future, was Planet of the Apes, the first one.
Oh, I would have picked that if I
Because it was produced by Rod Serling from The Twilight Zone, and I watched The Twilight Zone every...
Well, Planet of the Apes is awesome, so if you haven't watched the original, I would highly encourage checking that out too, but anyway. Moving on to Week 17 NFL picks. Let's get right into it, Andy.
We got the 6-9 Atlanta Falcons at the 7-8 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I'm going to go with the 6-9 Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, Bucks probably won't have Winston. They have no Chris Godwin. They can't run the football. Got to go Falcons here.
You can bet on Winston's interceptions to, like, if he'll throw more interceptions or touchdowns. Fun fact.
Yeah, that would be a pretty good bet. I don't know if he's even going to play this week. I honestly think they're going to hold him out just to not let him embarrass himself. Anyway.
We have the 6-9 New York Jets at the 10-5 Buffalo Bills. Going with the Buffalo Bills.
I'm going Bills as well, but I don't know. Jets have been playing kind of solid lately, but they are really bad on the road, so I'll go Bills.
7-8 Chicago Bears at the 10-5 Minnesota Vikings. Going with the Vikings.
Yeah, I'll go Vikings.
6-9 Cleveland Browns at the 1-14 Cincinnati Bengals. I'm going with the Bengals. Let's get it.
You know, I'm going to take Browns here.
12-3 Packers at the 3-11-1 Detroit Lions. Going to go with the Detroit Lions.
I'm going to go Packers, even if they put their backups in.
5-10 Los Angeles Chargers at the 11-4 Kansas City Chiefs. Going with the Chiefs.
Got the Chiefs, Chargers. You disappointed me this year. I'm not believing in you next year.
4-11 Miami Dolphins at the 12-3 New England Patriots. Going with the Patriots.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Patriots here too.
10-3 New Orleans Saints at the 5-10 Carolina Panthers. Going with the Saints.
Gotta go Saints.
3-12 Redskins at the 7-8 Cowboys. Going with them Washington Redskins.
I'll go Cowboys.
7-8 Oakland Raiders at the 6-9 Denver Broncos. Going with the Broncos.
Going Raiders.
8-7 Titans at the 10-5 Texans. Going with the Texans. No, Titans. I'll change it up. Convince myself.
I'm gonna go. Let's go Titans here. Yeah.
7-8 Colts at the 5-10. Doug Marone's last game because he got fired. Colts. I don't think I said the Jaguars, but yeah, the Jaguars, by the way.
Yeah.
5-9-1 Arizona Cardinals. The 8-7 Rams. Gonna go with the Cardinals.
Yeah, I'll go Cardinals too.
8-7 Eagles at the 4-11 New York Giants. Going with the Eagles.
I'm gonna go Giants.
8-7 Steelers at the 13-2 Baltimore Ravens. Gonna go with the Steelers.
I'm going Ravens, even with RG3.
And then the greatest football team to ever exist, the number one team in the NFC, the San Francisco 49ers at the Seattle Seahawks. The last game of the decade. The two best teams in the NFC. Going with my 49ers.
I'm going Niners here too. So that's going to do it for the Week 17 picks. I do want to wrap things up here quickly because I'm actually running out of hard drive space. So let's get into that really quick. So wrap up, t-shirt link in the description as always. Patreon info in the description as always. You can back the podcast for as little as $1 a month. Get early access. I want to thank all of our current Patreon backers. Dumbest Sphinx in the Egg tier, Bobby in the Andy tier, and Daniel and Jared in the Gold tier. You can check out our Patreon at patreon.com/DCD podcast. And then you can find us on every platform that we're available. All you got to do is go to deadchannelduo.com. Links at the top with all the details. Anyway, Andy,
I gotta
Anything
pee
else?
really bad. Bye.
Oh, all right. We'll see you next week, guys, for DCD 63. Bye.